From James Gunn's plans for the franchise to the controversy surrounding Amber Heard's role in the films, Aquaman's fate is really hanging in the air right about now. But could Aquaman 2 really be an awkward end for the character?
Hey, wait! Oh.
What?
Shouldn't we have written it down first?
I memorized it. Didn't you?
The upcoming release of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom has left fans with many questions, not to mention the multiple rumors about where the DC universe is heading next. And the man behind it all is none other than James Gunn. You might know him from his work on Guardians of the Galaxy, but he's also been hard at work carefully crafting the future of the slightly controversial DC universe. And so far, every project that has been announced has been received positively. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there are still some movies whose permanent future in the franchise isn't all that clear. And one of them is the highly anticipated Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Can you believe it? I mean, we're talking about the King of Atlantis himself here. So the expectations are higher than ever before.
I need you to come with me to Atlantis.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you the same thing that I told that rusty starfish Volko. Except nicer because you're a lady. No thank you, I'm not interested.
But as the final film in the DCEU, before James Gunn's DCU plans take over, what fate awaits the King of Atlantis and his fellow heroes? While excitement builds, there's a catch that could change everything. Because the story of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom could potentially make for an awkward transition between the two universes. While no one really knows too much about the overall plot just yet, it's possible that the events of the movie might not fit in with the new direction planned for the DCU. Then again, it's important to keep in mind the larger picture, which is James Gunn and Peter Safran's plan to establish a new DC universe after the formation of DC Studios.
What's the plan again?
The plan is to not get killed.
Yeah, good plan. Don't get killed.
With DCEU's plans to release 4 movies in 2023, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom will be the last one to hit theaters during the holiday season. And after that, the stage will be set for the new DC universe to kick off with 2025's Superman Legacy. And of course, we all know that the Flash movie is set to explore the multiverse, especially with the introduction of parallel realities into the DC universe on the big screen, which is pretty exciting because it opens up a lot of possibilities for DC Studios to pivot into the new DCU.
Well then my bloodshed. Do the gods make known their will?
However, the story of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom might prevent that from being a fully seamless shift. And I'm sure you're wondering, why is that? Well, Aquaman is the King of Atlantis, and his loyalty to his people and his underwater kingdom may come into conflict, because rumor has it that Aquaman may have a rift with the surface world. Let's be honest, Aquaman being at odds with the world is an awkward character ending. It could create a bit of a weird transition if the new DC universe doesn't follow the same storyline. And that's a tricky situation to navigate for sure. And to add to the speculation, there have been tons of rumors flying around on the internet. Some photos from the set show Arthur, aka Aquaman, addressing the United Nations. I mean, this is a fascinating development, right? It suggests that Arthur is taking a more diplomatic approach to his role as King of Atlantis, and attempting to bridge the gap between his underwater kingdom and the surface world. But that's not all, because the movie's plot will also involve Arthur teaming up with his half-brother Orm, or Ocean Master as we all know him. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wasn't Orm the bad guy who almost led Atlantis to war with the surface world? That's right, but things are different now. In Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, we might see Arthur reevaluate his half-brother's perspective and attempt to find a way to work together for the greater good of both Atlantis and the surface world. This could lead to some interesting character development for both Arthur and Orm as they navigate their complicated relationship and the political tensions between their two worlds.
Icebergs in the harbor. 4 months since the last ship got through.
Well, this stranger doesn't come by ship.
But this whole plot doesn't sound like an ideal franchise ending for Aquaman 2. As a human Atlantean hybrid, Arthur Curry has always had a foot in both worlds, and he's mostly favored his surface world roots in previous appearances. But his role as the King of Atlantis has of course broadened his outlook. He's now more aware of the pollution and damage that the surface world is causing to his underwater kingdom. So, in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, we might see Arthur taking action and issuing an ecological ultimatum to the surface world. This would certainly be a fitting conclusion to an Aquaman movie. However, this might not be the ideal franchise ending for the DCEU overall, because it could create a rift between the underwater and surface worlds that could be difficult to solve. I mean, this just makes the whole situation more complicated. And hasn't this franchise been through enough? From Amber Heard's controversial casting as Mera to Jason Momoa's recent praise of his Justice League co-star Ezra Miller, many fans have been vocal about their displeasures with the actors involved in the film, and this has caused some tension with the fandom.
What is this?
Customs and Border Control. Don't worry, I have diplomatic clearance.
Additionally, the movie has been delayed multiple times, and it was recently revealed that it had to go through various reshoots. Some reports even suggest that Ben Affleck's involvement in the film was increased, from a cameo to a side character, to shift the focus away from Heard's controversial presence in the movie. I mean, it's clear that there are many factors at play here, and it's hard to say exactly what's causing all the issues with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, as director James Wan has been hard at work making sure that the movie is the best it can be, since it might be the last time that we see Aquaman. James Gunn, who is set to take over the DCU with his upcoming projects, has also confirmed this sad news. And while some fans may speculate that the changes taking place in the film are an attempt to keep it a part of the DCU, unfortunately, it seems like this won't be the case. And it's bittersweet news for fans of the Aquaman series.
You know, there was a time when I wanted to meet you more than anything. Get to know my little brother.
But wait, there's still hope. According to director James Gunn, the first chapter of the DCU is less than half revealed, and it has added a sense of mystery to the franchise's future. To add to the intrigue, there have even been rumors and speculations about some of the DCEU cast members continuing in James Gunn's DC Universe plans.
No. Will you just stop it with that? No. Your stupid Atlantean GPS just told you to jump out of an airplane over the middle of the desert, and now we are stranded.
While it remains unclear whether Jason Momoa's Aquaman will continue to be a part of the franchise, the success of the first Aquaman movie, which grossed over $1 billion worldwide, just suggests that the sequel might not be the end for the character, only if the movie is a success. And well, you have to consider DC Studios also has an Elseworlds label. This means that franchises like The Batman and Joker can exist independently from the DCEU. So even if Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom marks the end of Aquaman's journey in the DCEU, there's still a chance that the character could continue in some capacity under the Elseworlds label. That said, the story of Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom just doesn't seem to be a seamless transition into James Gunn's DC universe. So it remains to be seen how the DCEU will officially come to a close and how the DCU's first chapter will begin. And that's all you need to know about how Aquaman 2 could be an awkward end for the character.